Skip this intro. Hey, welcome back to Redhood Movie Reviews. This week, we're going to review Amazon Prime's remake of War of the Worlds, starring who else? Ice Cube. Yay, yay! First of all, this is not your Tom Cruise, Steven Spielberg War of the Worlds. This is very different, and maybe not in a good way. Did you remember a couple years back, they had this movie called Unfriended? I think they made a couple of them, where the whole movie, your TV screen, is like you're looking at somebody's laptop. You're looking at somebody's iPad. It's very like COVID era stuff. And that's how this movie plays out. So it's not the greatest. You're kind of watching Ice Cube at his office job as outside of this building. He works for the FBI or the CIA, something of course like that. And all the shit is going down outside in the real world, and he's just kind of viewing it from YouTube and Facebook and instant messages. So it's a very weird take on the movie. All I kept hearing about this movie is how awful it was. So of course I had to watch it. And I can confirm it's a giant piece of shit. Does that mean you shouldn't watch it? Not necessarily. I mean, I like Ice Cube. I got a soft spot for him. And in this movie, he's sitting in an office up against a bad green screen that you could tell is not an FBI building. And I don't know if he actually bothered to read the script. I hope he got a good paycheck. I'm sure he did. But there are points in the movie where he stumbles over his own dialogue, as if there's like off-screen a guy with cue cards just slowly revealing of what Ice Cube should say. And that alone kind of like just, I don't know, it made me laugh. It's an Amazon Prime exclusive movie. And boy, will you know it. Because they take every effort to hammer in everything about Amazon Prime. In fact, there's a plot point in this movie where Ice Cube has to go order a memory stick from Amazon. He has to order on Prime, and he gets it delivered by a drone. I'm honestly surprised Jeff Bezos didn't make a cameo in it. Or his wife. He could have done it. It seems like the perfect like vanity piece they could have done. What it reminded me of most, I don't know if anybody out there remembers The Asylum. They used to make these knockoff movies back in the early 2000s of everything. Like if there was a Transformers big budget movie, they would make Transmorphers or something like that. Their most famous movie is Sharknado. I'm sure you've at least seen that if you're watching my reviews. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. It's funny that it's Amazon and that they just didn't spend that much money into it. They were just like, oh yeah, give me Ice Cube and Eva Longoria, and then just the rest can be just a big old advertisement for Amazon. So is it worth watching? No, not unless you really like bad movies, or unless Amazon bribes you with an Amazon gift card, which is something that they do in this movie. And if you're curious to see weird little shit like that, then you can check it out. Okay, I've heard you. Enough with the horror movies. Enough with the superheroes. Enough with the big explosions. Where are the laughs? Okay, so I went and I saw the remake, or maybe it's the sequel, or maybe it's the reboot of The Naked Gun. You wouldn't think that a 6'10" Scotsman could be funny, but Liam Neeson really is. He showed a little bit of it in the Ted sequel. I think he was in one of those movies. And you got a little bit of laughs from him in that. And man, he actually makes a really good replacement for Leslie Nielsen. He's straight, he's subtle, he really nails that tone that Leslie Nielsen used to have. It's like, I love, there's a couple of moments of like really dry wit. It's not all just dumb humor. And I really thought that's what kind of nailed the, whatever it was that made The Naked Gun the Naked Gun. Danny Houston is in it, and of course he's the bad guy. He always plays the bad guy. He does a decent job, and the surprise is that Pam Anderson is back. And I didn't know she was funny. She actually like gets you to laugh. About halfway through the movie, there's gonna be a great montage sequence. It involves a snowman. Stick around for that. That's easily the most hilarious part of the movie. And also, what's good about this movie is that it's short. It's like 80 minutes long. It goes along at a clip, clip, clip. You laugh, and before you know it, you're done. Sure, it doesn't last a long time, but it's a lot of fun. Do I think it's as good as the original Naked Gun movies? It comes close. Close enough. In this movie, Liam Neeson is Frank Drebin's son. I know we've discussed this before. Can a sequel / reboot / remake come 30 years after the fact and be just as good as the original? It's not as good as the original. Is it as good as like the third Naked Gun where you're like, I've seen this before? Yeah, but it's still worth seeing. In a summer where there's not really any comedies. Everything is superheroes, action, horror. There's been a couple dramas, but like when you really just want to laugh and eat popcorn for an hour and a half, this is for you. So no throwback review this week. Instead, we're going to look at a movie called Opus on HBO Max. It's got John Malkovich in it. He's one of the most fantastic villain actors I can think of all time. But would you buy him as a pop star? And that's what they ask you to believe here in Opus. He's a Michael Jackson at his height. He's a Taylor Swift-esque omnipresence, and he hasn't released an album in 30 years, and then all of a sudden, he's back. So all these exclusive invites go out to all these music industry insiders, the who's who of the industry, and he wants him to come out to his mega ranch, and that's when the cult shows up. If you showed up to a mega ranch 40 miles from the nearest town out in the desert land of Utah, and when you arrived, this music legend had an entire ranch full of bald, blue-suited followers, what would you do? I know I'd leave right away. I don't need to hear anything. I'd immediately just start walking in the other direction. I know 40 miles is 40 miles, but you'd want to get the hell out of there pretty quick. We've seen this movie set up before in horror movies where they take a group of people, they drag them into the middle of nowhere, and shit goes wrong. We've seen this before. Like, it's very like Midsummer-esque. If you've seen the movie Midsummer, they do it a lot better in that movie. It takes a while for the shit to go wrong, but when the shit does go wrong, at least that's the good part of this movie, it gets gross quick. There's an actress in this movie, I can't remember her name, but I know she's also on The Bear, which is a review you can check out on the TV Critic, also on Quiet Corner TV. She does a really good job. She's the shining point of this movie, other than Malkovich. When Malkovich gets to play the villain, he's actually pretty good. But it's just, overall, this is a movie we've seen before. We've seen it done better. I know it's on streaming. You can keep it on as like background fodder if you want. It was only okay. In the end, I'd say pass on it. You're not going to miss anything if you don't watch this movie. So thanks for coming back and watching Red Hood Movie Reviews. We'll keep cranking them out. You keep watching, like and subscribe to Quiet Corner TV, and check out all our other shows.